Good morning, everybody. Cyrus here with another paper, a roadmap to actually navigate my thought and to be able to record this video for you in a very good way that you may not get lost in my words because they're too different than whatever you've heard in your life. So today I want to talk about much more deeper behavioral science. So after learning behavioral science, a power came to me, a power of detecting lies and peacocking. The way that people are actually talking is the way that they're born with it. So you cannot run away from it. The only way that you can understand what you're capable of doing is to write whatever you have in your mind. When you write yourself down, you see some specific words are always coming out from your mouth. Some specific behavior you do when you're all alone. And those words gonna define your vocabulary. And those actions are about to define your behavior. So you cannot run away from it. You can expand it, but you cannot run away from it because it's the way that you are. So what is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that actually. But when you're using other people's vocabulary is the time that you want to be not yourself and you want to say something which is not true. So by the time that we're using other people's vocabulary, if you want to just quote something from them, that's totally okay. If we want to just clarify something, that's totally okay. If you want to just, bring more solidity to our conversation, that's totally okay. But when we want to say something which we don't believe in, we just want to do it for the sake of deceiving and seduction. I mean, like in any way that you can actually understand it yourself. Maybe it's not good to say that word, but I don't know. You get it yourself. It would just be so seductive. You are using other people's vocabulary, and that's a form of lying. So you're actually lying because of many reasons. I don't know, you know it yourself. But when you know behavioral science, you understand that this person, based on his or her personality, they should not use that word because it does not belong to their group. It does not belong to their league. So they're actually peacocking. They're actually lying. So that's not very good. And after behavioral science, you're able to do that. Because first you need to know what functions do exist in the world and how we can use those functions and how we are actually able to manipulate those functions. That way you'll be able to detect lies. And peacocking, apart from lie detection, detecting peacocking is very cool for itself as well. So when people are actually peacocking, and maybe we can say even why people are actually peacocking, it's because they want to seem more cooler than the person who they are, who they feel they are. And the time that they want to just, be more likable by the society. They think that, for instance, that guy is actually talking and everybody laughs, but when I talk, nobody wants to listen to me. So I need to be much more cooler than the way I am. And they start peacocking. And as a behavioral science, when you see someone's peacocking, it's so exaggerated. It's not very genuine, and it's gonna hurt you. It's like, why do you try so hard to be someone else except from yourself? In this lifetime, the best thing that you can do is to know who you are and to actually, enhance whatever you have in a very good way. I mean, look, this life is not that short that you can be everybody. So stop caring about being likable or stop caring about being like others. Try to find out who you are and try to actually focus on who you are and try to develop some sense of goodness into that. Elevate your personality to some degree that you like yourself more than ever, apart from other people liking you, if you care about it. Because in general, we have 4 different types of people. The 2 of them are really chained with people. They care too much about people. And 2 of them are totally okay. They do not care that much. It's not like they're avoiding it, but they don't care about it that much. So they're totally okay. It's like, for instance, say half of population in the world don't care about it, but the other half cares. So 4 billion people still, It's a very big number. Anyway, in behavioral science, peacocking is not a bad thing. when you want to just expand your personality, you need to do it. I mean, like they say it, fake it until you make it. So for doing that, first, you need to know yourself very good. The time comes that you feel that you need to act more in a very feeler way. You need to be a feeler rather than a thinker. Or, for instance, you need to be a thinker rather than a feeler because you need it right now. But this is not who you are. You're a feeler. You're always just going to just do anything based on your feelings. But now you need to be logical. Or you're a logical guy in a relationship, which you need to be much more emotional. But you don't know how. So for learning how to be more emotional, you need to fake it until you make it. So you need to peacock. Whenever you're around people, you need to just, give them some love, for instance. And even when I say love, I'm not saying it love in a very simple way. I'm saying it in a very exaggerated way. This is not who I am, right? You can see that example just live into my video. That I said the word in a very awkward way because love itself is awkward to me. Feeling is awkward to me. Emotion is awkward to me. So the moment comes that you see people are acting weird, those times they're peacocking, and that's not good. So we said it's a good thing under some certain condition to elevate your personality, to fake it, to sometimes to make it, but in general, it's not a good thing. You need to find out who you are and need to act according to that personality because that can be the best version of you and not any other way around. So, how can we detect it? I think we talked about this in the first part that I said to you. Maybe I didn't say it, but you need to write yourself down. And then you need to read yourself back. So grab a paper and a pen and try to write anything that is in your head. And then just read it out loud to yourself. Just find out what are your specific vocabularies. What are the words that you use most of the time? So they are the words that entangle to your personality, and you cannot run away from them. And by writing down your thoughts, your self-awareness is going to just goes much more higher. You can actually have the ability. You can get the ability to see yourself from outside perspective, and when you're able to do that, your life becomes much more easier because you become your own critic, and you're going to just bring a lot of criticism to your behavior, which is going to help you to bring it to another level, to a better league, to a better division. So the thing is that when we have that self-awareness, when we understand that peacocking is not good, lying is not good, we need to avoid it, We need to avoid from acting likable. Like we have to stop caring about it at the first place. And why do we need to do that? Because when we stop caring about people, I told you half of the population, they already stopped that a long time ago in their genetic. But the other half have to stop it. Because when you care about, it's like when you care too much about others, you cannot be you. And that's not very good. So, sometimes I always, say this to others, not even sometimes, I always repeat the sentence that, dude, whatever you are in this world, based on your personality, there's at least 1% person in the world that is totally opposite of you. Totally opposite. And they have a good life. So all your fears based on your personality is exactly a life that somebody else is living on earth. So nothing gonna happen to you if you do not act in a way that you like. If you just act the way that you are, it's gonna be good enough. It's gonna be good enough to some degree. Yes, we need to actually understand it, and we need to, elevate that to some degree to feel more comfortable with our fears, with our problems, to be able to be more solid, to be able to be more strong. Yeah, we need to, adjust a lot of simple and a small thing. But what we don't like to do in the world, what we fear of doing those things, there are people outside of our life that they're doing it and they have zero problem with it. So be aware of that. And okay, at last, I need to tell you this. This is kind of like a disclaimer that one thing is wrong with even controllable peacocking. So controllable peacocking was that fake it until you make it. When you're not acting in a way that who you are, there are going to be a lot of overwhelming situations. There are going to be a lot of burnouts. So you can just push yourself. Just imagine you're in a gym and you're just trying to push your muscles with all these dumbbells and bars. But after a while, if you just work out too much, there's going to be so much pain in your muscles and you're going to actually hurt yourself. That things is going to just happen in the very same way to your mind. If you try to be not yourself for a long time, there's going to be a big burnout. It's going to be so overwhelming to not be yourself. So try to push yourself in a very limited and controllable way if you want to actually fake some behavior, which you don't need to. But if you wanted to actually fake it in a controllable way, try to act in that way for a very, very short amount of time to only see the experiments, to see that if you just not act the way that you like, for instance, you hate to be emotional. If you act emotional, it's going to be weird to yourself at the beginning. But when you're doing it step by step, very controllable, after a while, after a year being so little kid trying to show your emotion, you'll be able to control it to some degree, and that's going to be very beautiful to you. So I hope it just helped you to understand some of the problems that we actually discuss here. And in the middle of it, I actually try to give you some solution as well. So this is the conclusion. That the conclusion here will be yourself. Do not afraid of being yourself, because that's who we are, huh? We're born with something and we cannot run away from it. All we can do is embrace our fears and our abilities in our life, and that way we can just move forward. So don't afraid of yourself. You're your own best friend. So feel free, like yourself. Peacocks sometimes very controlling. Do not lie, because other people can understand it pretty much easily, and that's not a good thing. So it brings a lot of problems with itself. And yeah, love yourself in the way that I love you. See you later.